guys, it's GameTech Super Sham back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be going over Windows 10 build 10,158 and all of the new features in it. So this is a pretty new insider preview build. We haven't had a public preview build since last month, and there have been a lot of leaked ones, but I don't really cover leaked builds. So this is the first actual build in a long time, so I'm going to go over it. So most of the new features in this build are either tweaks and sort of behind the scenes improvements to the icons, to the UI, to the overall experience, or they're in Microsoft Edge. So I'll go over the Microsoft Edge improvements, and the first one is that it's actually called Microsoft Edge now. So if I go into Start and I go into All Apps, I will now see it under M in Microsoft Edge. And as you can see on the taskbar, the logo is also the E, and it says Microsoft Edge. And also something awesome I saw, if I have a PDF that's open, it's going to open in Microsoft Edge, it has this awesome thumbnail with the E in the PDF. I think this looks really cool. But we'll get to that stuff later. First, let's talk about Edge. So I set the Google.com as my page that just opens up when you launch the browser, which actually works now. There seems to be a new font everywhere. The new tab page, the tab title has a new font. The icons are a little modified. There's a share icon now. But you can get your hub right here, and you've got all your stuff here. And then you can go into settings, and here's where all the new stuff is. So, firstly, we've got a light theme and a dark theme. Personally, I think the dark theme is a little too dark. But it's definitely awesome to see it here. I'm going to go switch back to light real quick. Yeah, you've got your favorites bar, of course. You can also import favorites from another browser, a feature that was not present in previous builds. Now, it says Internet Explorer, but that's because I don't have any other browser installed. But it's definitely good to see that coming. You got some more options as to what you want to open with when you click on the Microsoft Edge logo. And the other major feature, well, the home button, you can now show a home button, which isn't really a big deal, but that's there. And the major feature is that you get to save your passwords. Finally, you get to save your passwords. That's been something that we've been asking for a long time, and it's finally here. Now, it does let you change what you search in the address bar, but when I go to add a new one, I can't really do anything, so that's not a thing yet. So yeah, those are the new features in Microsoft Edge in this build. It's looking to be a pretty nice browser. Everything works as you would expect. It's pretty smooth, pretty awesome. But yeah, that is pretty much it in Microsoft Edge. Now we're going to move on to the other... Okay, get out of here. Okay, we're going to move on to the other changes in this build. So it's mostly a lot of minor stuff, but it's definitely noticeable. So in Cortana, if I open that up, there's a really nice fade that wasn't there in the last build. It's definitely not as scary when you just jump right in, because there's only 4 things on the left side instead of like 12 million. And when I go into the notebook, I can see all the stuff that was on the left side right here. So they've streamlined this, and I can go in here and just, look at my stuff now. I can take a look at what's in my notebook, and it's pretty well organized here. Then I've got my reminders, which have a better icon, finally. And then I've got my feedback, of course. I can give feedback about Cortana. So, everything has a new icon, and I'm really liking where this is going. So the Get Started app has a new icon. Calculator has a new icon. It's the same app, but just a different icon. Mail and Calendar have new icons, but this was already a thing from previous builds. So on the jump lists, I guess what you pin onto the start menu, the videos and everything else has an icon instead of just a smiley face placeholder. Settings and File Explorer have new icons. I think it looks pretty awesome. So yeah, a lot of these apps, like the camera app, they all have new icons. Something worth noting here is Get Office and Get Skype, so they're integrating their products into the operating system instead of having it installed. So instead of having Skype here, just randomly when you buy a computer, you will have the option of getting Skype, and if I don't want it, I can just remove it. That's definitely glad to see, because that probably upset a lot of people. Now, there's also Microsoft Wi-Fi, which has been a part of this build, Windows 10 in the previous build, but it wasn't really working. And now we know what that is. It's pretty much on-demand Wi-Fi. You can pay for Wi-Fi if you are on the go from Microsoft, which is actually a pretty interesting concept. I don't know how useful it'll be, but it'll be interesting to see how common they are. So another thing is that the icons for the Universal apps are finally not having tiles anymore, because I thought that looked horrendous. If you've got a tile here, like the Mail app, a tile around it, you don't need a tile around it when it's on the taskbar. So as you can see here, the Store app, which is now out of beta, so that's cool. The Mail app and the Calendar app are finally now not in a tile, and they're actually icons now, so that's awesome to see. Same thing with the Microsoft Edge icon. It's an actual E, and it's colored, so it'll be interesting to see if these other Universal apps will be getting colors. And something minor that I wanted to point out is that the Chrome on the windows are sort of matching now. So as you can see here, the minimize, maximize, and restore buttons, or restore close buttons, are now matching whether that app is a Universal app or a Win32 app, unless I maximize the app. When I maximize it, it goes back into its compressed size. I think that's pretty cool, but I would like to see that happen with every app. It doesn't happen with Universal apps. That just stays the same. It'd be pretty cool to see that with Universal apps, because I think that's a nice feature to have. So now let's go to the Action Center, where there is some new stuff. So as you can see, a lot of the icons are different, which is pretty cliche all across the operating system now. But there's a Note icon and a Quiet Hours, but there's the Note actually opens up OneNote. So as you can see, if I click the Note icon, it opens up OneNote, and I can put in a new note. This is actually awesome. Like, I am really excited to use this, because I think it's pretty awesome. So speaking of OneNote, as you guys can see right here, the window title bars on Universal apps are going to be controlled by the developer. That's something that people have been wondering if it's just going to be white. It's not. So, for example, Microsoft made it purple to blend in. You can see that with the Phone Companion app, which I wanted to talk about as well, which actually works in this build, I am pretty sure. So as you can see, the Phone Companion build also has colors, but this is the contrast. The Phone Companion app, which just crashed on me, actually does not have a developer set title bar color. It actually uses the scheme that your theme for Windows 10 is using. So right now, everything's blue, and the Phone Companion app's title bar is blue. So if the developer doesn't define a color for the title bar, it'll just pick the theme that your operating system's running on. But Win32 apps don't have that yet. They're still white, so I don't know what they're doing there. They'll probably do the same thing. So yeah, as you can see, there are some more icons here. Let's go into the control panel. Another icon change from the previous build. The icons here are finally looking, they're all modern. However, some of them are tilted, and some of them are not tilted, and I don't know what's going on here. Like, what? But something I wanted to test out, because a lot of people have been testing it, is if you go into Device Manager and go into the app, then you'll actually see that a lot of new icons are present here as well. And this is a program that hasn't been touched since like 1980. So as you can see, a lot of the new icons are new, and it looks pretty cool, but some of them are not. Like these back and forward buttons are like 10 years old. So some minor changes I wanted to go over. Again, as you can see, this has a lot of minor changes. Is that in any Win32 File Explorer-ish program, when you hover over anything, it's a different animation, or different look to it. It's a light blue that sort of covers the whole thing. It's really subtle, and when you click it, it just looks nice. I think it's a nice touch. I think it fits better with Windows 10. It looks pretty awesome. Another thing is that buttons, like Win32 buttons, are also changed. So that's actually really hard to see because it's not a huge change, but I might be able to bring that up somehow. Let's see here how can I show this to you guys. So if I go in here, and as you can see here, again, you can see the new hovering animation. But if I go into properties, here we go. So as you can see, even the tabs are different. Even the tabs are really subtle and they're nice looking. The check marks are different. The check marks are brand new. And the buttons here are much more blue. Like, I don't know if that's a thing that just matches with your theme, but they're just different. It's a very, very slight and subtle change. You can definitely tell when a button's highlighted. Like, configure is clearly highlighted here. But yeah, that's the minor change in the buttons department in Win32 apps. But as you can see here again, the new arrows and stuff here in the dock, a new arrows icon. But yeah, this has been a pretty long video, so I'm going to end it right here. A ton of small incremental changes in this public preview build. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I certainly hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more Windows 10 coverage, be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.